Hi, welcome to Talk20, Ron Merrill. We are back, and we have Mimi back today. Yay! She's been gone with us, and we've missed you so bad.
Thank you.
But now we're missing Paula. So we love you, Paula. We miss you. Hope you're having a good time, and one of these days we'll get us all back
together.
That's right, by golly. But we're just going to take the reins today. And Mimi was our meal planner, and we did an intro video quite some time ago, so we're going to kind of redo that again. Mimi is a meal planner, and she's got lots and lots of experience with food. And a lot of times, if you know that you want to change to a healthier lifestyle, or your healthcare provider has told you that you need to change to a healthier lifestyle, and you don't know what to do with that, you know, a lot of times we don't even have time to cook. So Mimi is going to be awesome to try to help you in that area, and I'm going to turn the reins over to you.
And you're exactly right, what you just said. And not only do you not know what to do, but a lot of times people attempt to arrive at an eating plan that goes along with what their provider has told them, but that eating plan is boring and depressing and hard to stick to. And many times you fall off the wagon, and that, you know, it not only serves you physically, but mentally now you haven't achieved your goal, and so you start to think subconsciously, I can never do this. So the point of a meal plan that is directed only individually at each person is to help you arrive at the goal, both physically and mentally, so that you physically arrive at the goal, but you also have that satisfaction of knowing I did it and I can do more and be able to keep going.
That's awesome. So what do you do if somebody comes in and wants to change their lifestyle? How do you start them out on that? What do you do for that person?
So it's totally individual. We have to talk about your whole life, not just where you are now. How did you get here, and more importantly, how did you arrive at the taste in food that you have now? Are there memories involved? Are there good memories involved? Are there bad memories involved? Is there grandma's cooking involved? Is there an experience that you had either in your personal or professional life? I know that for myself, I've been in the food industry my entire life. I've been able to taste food from all over the world and actually have personal and professional relationships with people from all over the world, which developed my taste buds into something very, very, very large. Unfortunately, at my age, I cannot continue to eat the way I did when I was 22. That was wonderful. Big Macs in the morning and Kit Kats for lunch. And,
oh yeah.
And you were still skinny.
Oh
so, yeah. There comes a point in your life where realistically it can't be done anymore. And so that's where we go with the comfort, the memories, but also little by little expanding to a whole bunch of different flavors that are exciting and interesting, that allow you to arrive at the goal, both mentally and physically, with your provider.
That is awesome. That is absolutely awesome. So in meal planning, what are you going to do for like the clients? How do they get a hold of you? What is exactly that you're going to do something through Zoom, or do you?
We can do either or. Right now, I think some people are still thinking about being close up together, and that's totally fine, and we understand that. So we can do Zoom, we can do FaceTime, or we can meet together. There's a little bit of a long interview process, maybe the first time, where we start to go over what foods make you happy and why. And then we try to guide what your provider has given you as parameters into all of the happiness factors that we discussed in the first interview. And again, we go way back. It's not just what do you want to eat now. We go way back into what makes you happy. So you talked about emotional eating before. Let's have good emotional eating. Let's have eating that thrives on your good emotions. When I met Angela,
that was me, folks.
Yeah,
emotional eater.
We started working together.
And I don't stand normally like this. I was in a gym, so the trainer was like telling me, I was like the best picture that I could come up with to show that's what food addiction to me was. But I learned something from you, which is neat. It's not always emotional eating, something about the insulin or whatever it was
So
you
it's
said.
it's a vicious loop. It really is, and it's so difficult for people. You eat emotion. I know I'm a big emotional eater. As soon as you upset me, chips and cookies are really coming.
Cake, ice cream.
The only problem with that is that it's a long description, but when you eat sugars and starch, and I know that you focus heavily on sugars and starches with very good reason, and that is that when you eat sugars and starch, your body has to produce insulin to get that glucose out of your bloodstream and send it to your cells and to some organs where it needs to go to get stored. But the problem with insulin is that if it gets, I mean, to coin a phrase, if it gets a little bit sick and tired of you repeating the cycle with the sugars and starches, your pancreas will sort of, which makes insulin, will start throwing tantrums. And that is, you ate this much starch, so therefore you need this much insulin. And eventually your pancreas, when it starts throwing tantrums, will say, you know what, since you won't stop eating this sugar and starch, when you do, I'm gonna make this much insulin. Just because you need it so much and you need it so constantly that here it is all at one time. What happens when you get that much insulin at one time, once or twice or 3 times a day? You get very, 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 very tired.
Absolutely.
And you get very, very, very depressed. And what happens when you get depressed? You eat more chips and cookies, and we start the cycle all over again. So it's a vicious cycle. Yeah. It's a difficult cycle, and I think when we change eating patterns, and we have to make it as fun and interesting and wonderful tasting for people as possible. When you change eating and that cycle starts to ramp down and go away, you start to understand that the way you feel is much bigger and much better than the level to which you love the chips and the cookies. I don't know if that makes any sense.
It absolutely makes sense, because I was going to say that when I start talking about emotional, you don't realize how bad you felt.
Yeah.
Until you start feeling good.
Or how fuzzy your thinking was, or
Oh
your
my gosh.
focus. Yeah.
Yeah. It's incredible. And people a lot of times live their whole entire life like that, feeling horrible, and they don't even know it. That's just their way of life.
It is. It's hard. It's hard.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's hard to accept that at one point you can't eat the way you used to. But that doesn't mean you have to eat things that aren't yummy.
Correct.
And so that's where meal planning comes in. We need to make this change, but we need to make it enjoyable.
That's right.
And we need to make it completely individual. I know that we spend a lot of time looking up recipes on the internet. For me, that's a total dead end, because that's somebody else's taste in food, and it never quite satisfies me as much as it satisfied that whoever wrote the recipe.
That's awesome. Cool. All right. Well, we're going to give, I think Michelle's going to do links or something for us, or we'll figure out something in the comments how you get a hold of Mimi and to further your health and knowledge. And if you got any questions for her, absolutely, that's what we're here for. We're a community. We want to be a community, a ministry, however you want to look at it. And thank you, Mimi. Is there anything else that you...
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Glad to be back.
I learned a lot myself. Anyway, going to stop right there, and we want to thank you for tuning in. What are we doing next week? I think we're doing digestion.
We are doing digestion.
Digestion. Yes. Hopefully Paul will be back. We'll be together again. And we got some fun things coming up. October is chiropractic month. Yay! And it's vital to your health. And we are going to get on there, and we're going to have some chiropractors from local. We're going to share the chiropractors in different areas in the hill country that we recommend. It's going to be a lot of fun. So tune in, and we will see you next week. Have a safe one. We love you. God bless. See you next time.